Morning. I hope you are well today. My name is Martina. If you are just catching me live for the first time, and if you know what I'm about, then hello. I am glad you are here today with me. So today we are talking about why yoga is for everybody. So if you guys are watching live this morning with me, please say hello so I can say hi back to you. And then if you're watching on the replay later, just hashtag replay and I'll make sure I come back on then and say hi to you at that time. So let me know in the comments first if anybody who is listening in, watching today, if you have tried yoga before and what your experience has been with yoga. And if you haven't tried yoga, let me know what kind of stigmas or things are going through your mind that are preventing you from trying this practice. So before we get started here, you guys, I just wanted to do a couple little housekeeping things. If you guys are watching this on, where's my thing? If you guys are watching on Facebook this morning, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube. When this video is done, hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for each time that I come live, which is usually Monday to Friday around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have had a bug go through our house the last 2 weeks, so videos have not been very, They've not been very consistent. So I am feeling much better and on my road to recovery. So here I am back. And then if you guys are not in this community already, I have a free community called Imperfectly Perfect You, Finding Self-Love at Any Size. This group is a group of women who are empowering each other to take those brave leaps towards self-acceptance and self-love. And we do this through a bunch of different practices, one of them being our yoga practice, or that's really been a big part of my own transformation. So it is something that I share about a lot within that space too. So if you are in a journey of inner healing and taking those brave leaps and just want a community of women standing beside you through that, we would love to welcome you into that space. So yoga, why yoga is for everybody. So to give you guys a little bit of background on my yoga journey, I have been teaching yoga for the last, I believe, 8 years. And so I took my first yoga class about 9 years ago, probably. And it took me a lot of convincing to go to my first yoga class. I thought that it was only for, it actually felt like yoga was this secret club that I had to look a certain way or have a certain handshake and password before I was allowed to go in. And I always had this image in my mind of what a yogi looked like. It was the young person. It was the person twisted up like a pretzel in skin-tight spandex. It was, and that image did not reflect or may have any resemblance to myself. So I always thought that it wasn't something that I could have even attempted to go partake in. And so I had always, in my adult life, I've always been a bigger bodied person. And so really overcoming that physical and mental hurdle to trying yoga was really the biggest challenge. The practice, once I got there and started it, that wasn't the hard part. The hard part was gathering up the physical and mental kind of, braveness or courage that allowed me to put all my feelings aside and try something out for myself, which I am so glad I did, because it's led me, I believe that it's led me to the path that I am on now. And I think if I didn't take my first yoga class, what I would be doing right now would look very different. So I am grateful for that. So why should we try yoga? Why should you try yoga? So those people with larger bodies, if you are a person out there with a larger body, you should feel just as comfortable as those with smaller bodies when entering a yoga studio. And this is what we want, right? It's definitely not the way that we always feel, but we have to realize that regardless of our size or flexibility, yoga's benefits are for everybody. Everybody can benefit from a yoga practice. Everybody can do yoga. And really, often the challenge lies in finding a space and a teacher that you resonate with and that you feel supported and encouraged by. So yoga has all these amazing benefits, right? So it increases our balance, our longevity. It helps us to feel grounded and confident in our bodies. it helps us to bring that mind-body connection, which can improve our self-image and our self-acceptance. So most importantly, yoga can help you feel better by improving both your physical fitness and elevating your mood. So there's just so many reasons why everybody should be doing yoga, in my opinion. And really, I feel like the connection to my body was my first kind of aha moment in my yoga practice, is just really slowing down, connecting the breath to whatever movement I was doing, and really just connection to the body. And that was something that I wasn't taught how to do. My history of exercise and fitness was always like, there was never a connection to my body. It was just like, do the movements, you're done, go on with your day. You checked off that box in your day. And so yoga for me, when I was able to realize the connection that I could have to my body and my breath, and then, it led me down that path of improved self-image and self-acceptance. It's really so transformative, and people don't often give it the credit it deserves. And oftentimes, if you are a bigger bodied person, you probably haven't even tried it, or you probably, are telling yourself that you will never try it. And so that's really why I am talking about this topic today, is just to encourage you to, if you haven't tried yoga yet, to really give it a chance. Give yourself a chance to take that brave leap towards trying something that might feel scary. It might feel something that you don't belong in. Stepping out of comfort zones is such a beautiful way to lead us to the things that we are meant to do. And I believe yoga was, brought to me as a part of my journey that really I would be such a different person without it. So, really my biggest message here today is just to make sure that you realize that everybody can do yoga. I don't care what your kind of ailments or your situation is, or how small you are, or how big you are, or how flexible you are. You can do yoga. And so that leads me into my next part I wanted to chat to you guys about, which is how to start. So the best way to learn is clearly from a qualified teacher. In a yoga class. So there is so many ways you can do yoga nowadays. There are so many online communities, in-person communities, specialized classes for bigger bodies even. There is a whole movement of yoga classes specifically aimed towards people with bigger bodies. And so it's really just taking the time to find your yoga person or your yoga teacher that makes you feel empowered and heard and seen, and just really guides you in your practice of, learning that whole piece of self-acceptance and self-respect and all that stuff that comes with it, right? So if you do not feel ready for a group class, there's also so many other ways that you can start to discover yoga. You can do private yoga sessions. You can do online videos. There is so much on, like, for example, for the platform of YouTube. There are so many teachers of all sizes, of all levels, to just really guide you through that. And it's just such a beautiful way to start to just figure out if yoga is something that will benefit you in your life. So when we're talking about like private sessions, for example, that can be just a great way to learn those basic poses and gain the confidence to use props and stuff like that in an effective way before joining a group practice. Because oftentimes I know people get caught up in the feelings of like, well, when you say child's pose, I don't know what the heck that means. Or when you say down dog, or when you say like, until you learn the language too, that can be another barrier that prevents people from showing up. So really, like, gentle practices like a hatha practice is what I primarily teach, but there are so many different types of yoga practices too. So finding the practice that you feel would work best for you, right? And different teachers are trained to work with different abilities and body types. And, so just really figuring out what type of yoga is also going to work for you. So asking questions, don't be afraid to, if you find a teacher that you feel like you connect with and that is going to help you with that yoga practice, then asking them questions about what type it is, who it's best for. And really, there's even chair yoga, which is such a beautiful way to bring yoga into your world without even having to be sitting on the ground. Lots of people have different health concerns or different things that don't allow them to be on the ground. And there is a whole community and practice of chair yoga that allows you to do the same movements that people would be doing on the ground, but from your chair. So you're still going to be receiving the same benefits, but it's from a chair. And I think when you're starting to, I think it's really important to realize that props are going to be your best friend in yoga. I know using them, really, there's the whole stigma. If you use props, you are inferior. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough, so you have to use things to help you. Using props in your yoga practice, so using different tools to help you, feel more comfortable, more, in your practice, then it just really means that you are smart. It means that, so if you try a type of yoga that is not prop friendly, try another class. And I think the same goes for any teacher that discourages the use of props. Then maybe you need to find a different teacher, because props, especially as a bigger bodied person, just allow you to bring the practice to you through different, like a yoga strap or a block or a blanket or a bolster. These are tools that don't mean that you are less than. It doesn't mean that you can't do the pose as well as someone who doesn't need them. They're just simply tools to help you to be able to still feel that same benefit, and you're going to receive the same benefit as a person who doesn't use props. But it just is really going to help you to just feel that much more comfortable within that pose. So there's no harm in it. And I use props in pretty much every one of my classes. And I never, I think probably at first I felt the whole stigma of I shouldn't have to use this because no one else is. And I think that's where you're taking those brave leaps, is you are doing things just for your body, not for anyone else. You're not there to put on a show. You're not there to, prove that you are more flexible than the person next to you. It is, each yoga person who walks in the door, that practice is for them. It is for them and their bodies. And however they need to make their bodies feel more comfortable within that practice is exactly what they should be doing. So anyway, so that's kind of what my little soapbox is today. I just wanted to share with you guys just really to try yoga is really what I'm here to say and to find those either online communities or communities within your town or wherever you live, and connecting to those type of, and just try it and try, find a teacher that you love, find a practice that you love, and really just put those kind of thoughts aside and thinking that you can't do yoga because you're not flexible. You can't do yoga because you're bigger or smaller or whatever it is. So really just trying. And I think if you try these different practices, and this goes for any type of movement that you're trying in your life, is to just really being open to the transformation, being open to how this could really change the trajectory of your life. And I know it's putting so much pressure on one thing, but it's actually so amazing once you find movement that you love. And I know that's something I've experienced firsthand. So with that, a couple things before I pop out of here. As you all know, I am a yoga teacher, so I am a person that could help you with this journey if it is something that you are, scared about, or you have questions about, or you feel like you can't do it because you are a certain way or a certain body type or a certain inflexibility. I would love to chat to you. I would love to help you in finding the yoga practice that is best for you. There's a couple different ways you can do yoga with me. First thing would be on YouTube. So I've already mentioned my YouTube channel, but if you head on over to my YouTube channel, which is in the description of the video, you'll be able to do a couple practices with me to really just see my style of yoga, my teaching style, some stuff like that that's really going to help you in just kind of, starting to dip your feet in the whole yoga world. And there is tons of other yoga people on YouTube that I do practices with as well. So I would love to share those names with you as well, as if it's something you are interested in. And then after that, let's see. I don't even think I have all of the graphics up here to share with you guys, but there are lots of other ways that you can do yoga with me if it's something that you are interested in. I have a 28-day yoga and mindful eating course that takes you through 28 days of yoga and mindful eating beginner kind of tips if you are interested in that. I also have a 21-day yoga challenge where we go through 21 days of yoga together. And once again, all of my yoga classes are for all abilities and body types. And there is always modifications and that kind of stuff. And then after that, I have my big program, the Self-Love Revolution with Martina. And that program has an extensive yoga library that is always being added to as well. And that program is where I guide women through a whole transformation of taking those brave leaps towards self-acceptance and self-love. And we do this through lots of different areas, one of them being yoga, but we do meditations, chakra healing, body positive practices, intuitive eating, self-care practices, mystic practices with oracle cards and crystals and essential oils. It's just really it's like the Netflix of self-love. So it's going to be all of the different aspects that is just going to help you to be living your best life, showing up for life with confidence, finding your purpose, and just shining your light like you were always meant to shine. This program can be as low as $27 a month. So it can be a very inexpensive program for right now, and it's 40% off right now actually. So the price will be going up eventually. So if you want in on that kind of founding members pricing, be sure to take advantage of that sooner than later. And there's that. So yeah, and then outside of that, I am always available for private yoga sessions. You can just contact me privately through whatever you are watching on right now, and we can do Zoom or in person. I am very flexible with how I can help you with really starting to discover movement and movement through yoga. And so I would love to be that person to stand beside you through that. So anyway, you guys, that's all I wanted to chat to you guys about today. So I hope you have the best day, and we'll talk to you soon.